So, hello everybody, welcome back. So, I wanted to talk to you right now about several things that you should probably know before hard times, and you should probably, already kind of be familiar with these ideas or concepts or whatever. But in case that you're not, either because, these things they are supposed to be taught at school, but yeah, people are not either paying attention or they're not reading or neither or I have no idea. Quite frankly, these things came up in the when I was doing the research for my book about the activities that you can do during quarantine, and also when I do the research for my book about the 6-year-old knowledge that you should probably consider. This is from the time of our grandparents. I had to talk to a lot of elderly to realize, that a hell of a lot of things were done before. Some of them were kind of harsh, and others were kind of like, what the hell? And others were kind of like, really? And others are kind of like, yeah, I don't know what the hell to tell you. So anyway, so before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card, or you can make a donation through PayPal, and you can also use the Amazon wish list that I have in another video. And I also have some books in Gumroad, including the 2 of them that I just mentioned. So anyway, so if you do not know right now the difference when you go to the store between buying ointment, cream, or gel presentations for the same product, yeah, you kind of want to know what the hell is the difference. There is a reason why they're different. And this is very, very, and I do mean freaking very important, because if you do not get this one right, you might end up having an infection or something else, because it's weird, especially if you are a woman that is always, doing dishes with no gloves whatsoever, or if you're in contact with, weird water or whatsoever, and things like that. So, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, okay? I'm just telling you all the things that I use research and all of that. And by the way, this is just common sense kind of knowledge. So anyway, let's say that you got a cut in your arm, okay? Now, if you put cream on that cut, that means that basically, number one, you should always, check if you can use creams, gels, or ointments or whatever in open cuts, because sometimes you're not supposed to do that, It's very, very, very important. Because some chemicals are not supposed to be in touch with your insides. They are supposed to be in touch with your skin only. So here's the deal. When you have ointment, that thing is a little bit more oily. The reason why it's oily is because the cream in there is very, very, very small. And the reason why it's oily is because the oil part is supposed to protect the wound from water and from other issues later on. It's also more difficult to put, bandages and stuff in things that are oily, like I said, with the ointment. But let's say that you got a cut or a scratch, and then you're going to do dishes and stuff, and then you need this thing to be waterproof. Yeah, that means that you need it with ointment. If you use cream, the thing is going to get greasy, and then you're going to be washing it, and then you're going to end up having to spend double amount or whatever. So it's going to be different. And if you have a gel, it's not the same as a cream. The difference is that, let's say that you have a 100 medicine, okay, and you need 25 of that medicine to go right now, 25 in about 2 hours, 25 later on, and then 25 later on. However, if you want the 100 to be very, very, and I do mean very quickly, released into your skin, and in a very effective way and stuff like that, without moisturizing the thing, then you need a gel. because the cream will act as a moisturizer thing, and it will also act as a release agent that will allow it to be slower. However, the gel doesn't have moisturizer, and it is basically the medicine straight away. So if you have the medicine, same medicine than before, but it is a cream, like I said, it will be 25, 25, 25, and it will be 25 later. The gel, oh hell no, it was going to be 100 right away, and that's it. And then you gotta do whatever it is that you're going to do with the wound or the thing that you're having. Now, when you're having the medication, if you have it in a pill or in a liquid, it's also different. The reason is because obviously if you have somebody that cannot swallow, then you need it liquid. However, liquid, it's difficult, it's different, not difficult, different from capsules when it in terms of releasing the chemicals and in terms of quickness, as in how fast the medicine will go into your body. There is, and if you want it to be very, very fast, that's why some capsules and some pills are called gel caps, because they're kind of liquid. Because the same thing that, gel is basically faster, because it will act more with not so much water, and it will be more about air, and it will be more about vapors and stuff like that related to the medicine. So when you are dealing with that, you need to understand this one, because here is the deal. And this is very, very, and I do mean freaking very important when you're dealing with medication for depression or anxiety and stuff like that. If you have it in a gel and it is a quick release, oh hell, it is not the same as the other capsule. Because if you have the quick release, then you are going to basically have the 100 of that medicine working in a few minutes, or it's going to go fast. However, if you need that thing to be last let's say that you take one pill daily, oh hell, if you take it in a gel form, that thing is not going to cover you the 24 hours. It's going to cover you probably around 6 hours, because it's different. So this is very, very, very important. Like I said, because especially when you're dealing with medication that have to do with mental problems, because if you have them a slow release, then they will last 24 hours, which is normal. But if you have it fast, then the person might be, it's like you took the medicine from 6 a.m. to noon, and then from noon, you are not covered by the medicine. So you may have a very big problem. So you need to talk to your doctor about this, and you need to understand this when you are dealing with medicines. Because if you have liver problems and other kinds of problems, this also will affect how the liver processes your medicine. And like I mentioned in the videos about how the hell to be a good patient and stuff, the medicines are also going to be affected by grapefruit juice and orange juice and multivitamins and herbs. So you're not supposed to be mixing all of that. Now, this is just for the part about you dealing with medicines, If you don't know all these things, then you should probably write them down, and you should probably, get a basics about, pharmaceuticals and stuff, because, this is important, because if you don't get it, and let's say that you put a gel and then you think that you're okay, and then you put water that, you are using water that is contaminated, you might end up, contaminating the wound. And you're like, oh no, I already put the cream or the gel. Oh hell no, it's not ointment, okay? So the ointment is the one that is supposed to protect it from the elements, and it's going to make it waterproof. The other ones, it's not. However, like I said, talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist, realize what you're doing so that you can understand. There is a reason why these things are different. And there is a reason why medicines are different. And there is a reason why, medicines comes in different kind of presentations, because they are not the same, okay? And anyway, also, like I said, this one is going to be a little bit weird to mention, but anyway. You may want to save a little bit of newspapers, because newspapers is something that you're not probably going to be able to get later. And the newspaper, you might need it for wrapping fruits when they are not ripe, so that they can, mature faster. I have no idea why that thing works, but this is like something that people, do here. And also, this is what I wanted to tell you. Sometimes you do not want the fruit to be mature or ripe to be collected. And the reason is because you want to get pectin out of the fruit. Because with the pectin is a thing that you use for making baby food and a hell of a lot of things in your kitchen. And pectin is created when you have fruits like mangoes or I don't know other ones, but I do know that a lot of fruits do have pectin, but the pectin will go away as soon as the fruit is ripe, or the pectin will not be, in the amount that you want it to be. So this one is weird because, quite frankly, I'm kind of like, why will I cut the fruit, now instead of, later when I can eat it? The reason is because if you want the fruit to be better, like making jams and stuff like that, you want the pectin, and the pectin is best when you have fruits that are green, like in a certain point between very small or very young and kind of ripe. Right? They're kind of like in the middle, so it will depend upon the fruit. But my God, I was kind of like, what the hell? Because, this is important to understand because let's say that you have a storm and all of a sudden all of your fruit just is on the floor and it is not ripe. So you're thinking this thing is going to go to waste. Oh, hell no, you can get the pectin out of that thing. I have no idea how, because it will depend upon the fruit. But I can tell you right now that the pectin is very, very valuable and it's also very, very expensive. So I'm kind of like, what? Yeah, I mean, I was just researching about that one and then I went like, my God, what the hell? Especially because I live in the city and this is something that in the countryside most people will probably know. And people in the food industry already probably know. But, I'm kind of like, right. Also, there are a lot of fruits that when you are eating it and they are not ripe, precisely because they have a very high amount of pectin and they have other things in them, they are actually poison. So I was kind of like, what the hell? Because I was doing research about the time for collection in gardening and stuff. And it turns out that some fruits, when they are not ripe, they will be poisoned precisely because of the pectin that mixes with something else that makes the fruit mature. And it's kind of weird. I was kind of like, how the hell can you be poisoned by eating, that fruit? I mean, we have several things that we eat in my country that are very weird. And then I was kind of like, what the hell? Yeah, so when it comes to dealing with fruits, not vegetables, fruits in your garden, you have to know about the pectin and you have to know if collecting that thing and eating it will probably be poison or not, depending upon the time that you collect it. And it turns out that, this one is kind of easy. A lot of people will know that when you're doing your garden, you're supposed to be doing it by the moon cycles. I'm kind of like, yeah, because apparently that affects the water in the earth system or something, and it also will affect the pressure on the earth from several other things. And then I was kind of like, right. So anyway, if you're going to deal with your garden, you really want to try to understand these things, because quite frankly, I was kind of like suspicious, because these things are kind of like like witch tales and stuff like that. But some of them actually make a hell of a lot of sense when it comes to the science. And the pectin thing might help you out a hell of a lot if you are trying to preserve food for later, because apparently this is like a very big thing. So you do your own research and figure out, because it will depend upon where you are and stuff like that. Also, I wanted to mention that it is very, very, very important that you kind of understand a little bit about how to recycle things in your own house, and how to turn them into something that you can either trade, or you can either, reuse into a place that you may not have thought about it before. So, for example, the Tetra Pak containers, I have told you that we cut them so that we can, move fire around, because that thing, it works better than paper, and it works better than some other things. And you might want to see sometimes, once in a while, whatever, some of the videos about do-it-yourself or hacks, because some of them are actually good, and they might actually work if you are kind of like in a pinch, because you may not have resources, that you need or whatever, and this is going to be good for you in the sense that it will save you resources. So anyway, also something that I keep telling you in other videos, you may want to consider the part about getting papers, from other nationalities, if you have them from your grandmother's side or your grandfather's side, and maybe your mother's side, or your father's side, because getting these double nationality papers can take a while. But here is the kicker, because it is very, very, very important. When you're dealing with photocopying, most of the time you can do it yourself. If you're in good times or whatever, photocopying something, like you trying to get a document and then photocopying, right? You usually go and try to unscrew the staplers that they have there. But then, here is the deal. Some documents, if you dare moving or removing that stapler, then they're void, and you will have to start all over. And it's going to be very expensive and very long process, because you will have to provide the proof, as in why are you starting all over and stuff like that. And so when you're dealing with photocopying documents, it is very, very, very important that never, ever, ever do anything to the original. Like nothing, not removing one thing, not doing anything, because it can also create a hell of a lot of legal issues later on for you. This has happened, like 1,000 times over in my country, especially when you're dealing with, taking care of documentation for other countries and stuff, And also, I was going to mention something else about dealing with bribes and other things, is the fact that you might get into trouble for doing the bribe, not for doing the bribe per se, but for the clothes that you're wearing when you're doing the bribe thing. So let me explain this one. Let's say that sorry, I got interrupted. So anyway, I was telling you that you kind of have to look the part. So let me explain this. Let's say that there is a line right now in the supermarket to get rice. So you have a friend that got you a ticket in the line, and people are right now. It is 6 p.m. It is 6 p.m. today on Monday. And tomorrow, Tuesday, the sale of the rice will begin at 10 a.m. So you now have a ticket because you write for it, or you got it illegally or whatever. Or you're going to go and get it illegally or whatever, because, there are people that are right there, right now, doing the freaking line, making the freaking line, standing in the freaking line, trying to get the freaking ticket. And, and then you show up at 9 a.m. and you got the freaking ticket. So here is the deal. People will kind of know immediately that you got the ticket because of the following. Number one, you look fresh. You do not look like you were there the whole night like the other people. You look like you have a shower, you have makeup, you're wearing clothing that is not even for cold of the night, you smell nice, you don't look tired, you're wearing high heels, and I have a lot of things, quite frankly. And then you get the freaking ticket. So now people will know that you bribed somebody or something like that, and people will be angry at you. They might be screaming at you, they might be, pointing at you, and for all I know, you might be even now into a problem, because if they call the National Guard or the police or whatever and they are involved, they will be telling everyone, if everyone that can do something about it, hey, that woman or that guy, they got the tickets and they are bribing because, they look fresh, we don't. So if you are going to do something that has to do with bribing, at least you have to look the part that the person that did not bribe, look like. Because otherwise, people, for all I know, they might be recording you. And if they are recording you and then, they can see that you got the ticket for whatever reason or whatever, you might be into a problem. And that's why I told you that bribing is not for everybody. And that's why I told you that this is a skill. And that's why I also told you to stay away from this unless you know every detail. Because if you screw up in the details, then somebody's going to record you, somebody's going to do something, and then you're going to end up doing, a hell of a lot of other issues that, might not be worth it. So it's important that you kind of look the part, because otherwise you are going to be standing out. And if you are standing out, you are probably going to get into the troubles that you were avoiding. So this is all these things that I wanted to mention. And I hope that this information is helpful. So, anyway, see you later.